Hey y'all, it's T from Tiny Cheeks Tarot coming in with a pick-a-pile. So since we are celebrating Mother's Day around this time that I'm recording in the United States, I wanted to do a reading that was Mother's Day related, but not necessarily just for mothers. This reading is all about the nurturing that we each need right now. So take a second, take a deep breath, clear your energy, and pick the pile or piles that resonate for you. Okay, so let's get into pile one. So the first card we have is the type of nurturing that pile one needs right now. So we have the shift for the type of nurturing that pile one needs right now. So we have the tree coming from behind the person in the front. You have different seasons, it looks like. Spring, there's winter in the corner, there's summer and fall. So it's all encompassing, right? So it seems to me the type of nurture that you need right now, in a sense, is all encompassing. The shift card itself is about transition and being in a place of suspension. You know, it's like knowing the season that you're in and being able to work with that energy. And so if we're equating it to mother energy, it's almost like the wisdom of our mothers. So the type of nurturing you may need right now has to do with mother wisdom, tapping into mother wisdom, tapping into the nurturing that comes from your mom helping you to figure out what's going on. And I don't mean this literally. I mean it like spiritually. You know what I mean? Like in the sense of, I think throughout the readings I may use like different mother archetypes in a sense. And so this would be the type of mom that helps you decide on things. You know, when you have a hard time figuring out which direction to go or what to do. City noise, y'all. I apologize. This is the type of mom that will sit down and help you weigh all your options. There's no judgment. There's, just wisdom and patience and understanding and the ability to help you see yourself and your abilities clear, right? And so it feels like the type of nurturing you need right now is that kind of energy, okay? The clarifiers we have for the type of nurturing you need. Prosperity begins. Material and spiritual prosperity. And then the universe. So it seems to me that this is the type of nurturing that you're needing right now, because you have some things very much percolating. Like you have some things coming up. I don't know if you have some lucrative decisions in terms of work or investments or literally moving to make more money. It seems like the shift may also be in terms of bounty. So having more like opportunities or more ability to do more things, something like that. And then you have the universe card with that shift card. So it's like there's a need for expansion. And so I feel like this is the type of mothering that you need, the type of nurturing you need, because there's a need for you to expand so that you can grow and literally have more, be more, have more. And so, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. The mothering wisdom and knowledge coming in to help you figure out which ways and things would be most prosperous for you to do or to go into, or to utilize, them helping you expand your purview, your perspective, to think bigger, to draw in bigger, to have just a more expansive view of yourself and the things that you can call in, it feels like. So these are the clarifiers on why this is the type of nurturing you need right now. It seems like this is the type of nurturing you need right now because you may have some big decisions to make, or you may have, what am I trying to say? The race may be just beginning in a sense for you. And so we need to get some clarity before we start running ahead again, is kind of the energy. Okay, so based off of the ways in which you need to be nurtured right now, what are the best ways that you can mother yourself? The best ways that you can mother yourself right now. So the cards we have for that are be grateful. What do you love? Make note of it. And vibe check, okay? So again, it seems like we have some things percolating going on. We have things coming in. We have abundance and blessings coming in. We have prosperous situations coming in. So starting with how to best mother yourself in this specific situation is to be grateful for all the things you have. Not just the tangible things that you can see, but literally like the fact that you're here to do it. The fact that your brain works and you can manifest new ideas, that you can pivot, that you can call on ancestral guidance, that you can call on your spiritual mothers, that you can mother yourself, that you have enough intention to know that you need mothering. Like, these are things to be grateful for as well as the things that are like tangibly coming in, because again, we have these prosperity begins, material and spiritual prosperity. So be grateful for all of the things that you may not even know that are coming, but that are coming, you know, like be thankful and grateful for that. Call them in, thank them before they even get here, kind of thing. So be grateful for the things that you have and what, you know, you are calling in and you know is coming. Okay. The other way that you can mother yourself best right now is sitting in what you love. So like we talked about with the shift card, one of the things that the type of mothering that you need right now, type of nurturing you need right now, has to do with helping you get clarity on things, right? And so what do you love? Leaning into the things that you love will really help you do that, and not in a, oh, but this doesn't make, or this, no, like just sitting in, and even in the small things, right? Not just like, oh, I love to graphic design, but even in a smaller way, like I love to talk to people. I love to enter data. I love to do math. I love, you know what I mean? And then those things can help you tailor and decide what the, you know, when we start the race or when we end, what the shift actually looks like, what we're moving towards, right? And once you do that, make notes of it. Not only make notes of the things, but like as you're doing things to help you figure out what you love to do, you make notes of it, in the sense that if you're doing something and you realize like, oh shit, this made me real happy, I'm like not even thinking about the shit that I'm going through right now while I'm doing this thing, make a note of that. You really like that thing. Okay. If you are sitting in a situation where you are all of a sudden irritated and you weren't irritated before that, and then, you know, you can recognize, make a note of that. Oh, I really don't like this thing, or I don't like this person, or I don't like being in situations like this. So then this is not something you want to do. That's not a part of the decisions that you would make. That's not a part of the path that you would choose to go, you know? And so again, like, part of how we can best mother ourselves right now, especially with the kind of nurturing we need, is to really lean into the things that make us feel good and pay attention to that, right? It's to pay attention to the things that don't make us feel great. And what we can do and how we can best notice that is a vibe check, right? So it gave you all of these things in terms of how you mother yourself. It gave like very succinct homework, like be grateful, lean into the things you love, pay attention to the things you love and the things you don't like, and the ways in which you do that is vibe check, checking yourself, taking a stop every once in a while and say, okay, how do I feel? How do I feel physically? How do I feel emotionally? How do I feel spiritually? Okay, how do I feel mentally? And like really paying attention to that throughout your days, really adjusting and moving in ways that help you be more mindful and take notes after adjustments to see what changes and what feels better or what, you know, feels worse or things like that. You're like experimenting with yourself. But the only ways to figure out what you love and to make mental notes and to be cognizant of it is to really check in with yourself. Okay, it's to really check in with yourself. Okay, y'all, and the last thing we are going to do is pull a card from our Healing Stones deck to see if there are any specific crystals that you could work with right now to help based off the messages we just received. Okay, we have Labradorite. Where do you delude yourself? Labradorite, the slayer of illusions, lets you see what's real. Again, we talked about choosing the right path, having wisdom, knowledge. After the pain, knowledge and greatness of mind arise. Okay, so again, you are on there's already been a shift. You're on a trajectory to really have the things that you want, material prosperity, the prosperity beginning. But we have to, just be wise about what we're doing and the choices that we're making. We've brought ourselves so far, and so it doesn't make sense to be hasty or to move in indecision. Okay. Again, just part of the nurturing that we need is figuring out things. We're in a place of figuring out. We're not moving yet. We know that shit is about to start moving, but we're not at a place of moving yet. We got to plan and get things done. You know what I mean? We have to sit and clarify before we can, move in a forward motion that's clearly coming. Okay. So if you have labradorite, if you can find labradorite, it's pretty easy to find. If you have a crystal shop near you, or, Etsy is a great place to find crystals, of course. But yeah, so if you have labradorite, work with it. Maybe learn more about the properties. If you don't, just like start to study it, get in tune with the energy of the crystal. So that is your message for pile 1. Please let me know what y'all think of this reading. Like, share with others, follow the channel, and comment and let me know. Love y'all. Okay, pile 2, welcome in. I'm just lighting a new incense for some reason. I want to clear your pile. Okay, y'all, so let's get into your cards. The first card we have is how you need to be mothered most right now. So the card we have is the Fern card. We're using the Earthcraft Oracle for the first card. So based on the Fern card, the way in which you need to be mothered right now seems to have to do with watering yourself. It seems like you may have some heavy energy or some internal struggle, and that you kind of need to pick yourself up and remind yourself of who you are in some ways. It may also be that you've been in or are in situations that are like heavy, or like, part of me wanted to say dangerous. And I don't even know if they're necessarily like physically dangerous as much as it may be where you are in the space you're in, whether that's like physically the space you're in or literally around, the people you are, and that's the people you're around in that space, or figuratively, meaning like the energy that you've been in, the energetic space that you've been in seems just like detrimental. That's I can't think of a better way to say that. I want to think of a better way to say that. Like, it seems like the mothering you need right now has to do with real nurture and care and tenderness, and reminding yourself that you deserve that, and that you are safe, and that it's safe for you to grow, despite circumstances, because you're there for you, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Let's get into your clarifiers. These actually aren't, it was backwards. So let's see. Okay, so we have heartache and loss. We have love begins. And we have the authority card. So yeah, clarifiers for our Fern card in terms of the ways in which you need to be mothered most right now. I feel like I said, these cards definitely speak to you needing to feel loved, and you being in or having been in a space of mourning and grieving, or, heartbreak or turmoil, or like a little bit of like depressive energies. Like, my chest feels very heavy, like I feel a lot of things in my chest right now, and so I'm holding a lot of things in my chest right now, and so it feels like You may have been in situations where you just were hurt. It's just like a wound. It just feels wounded. I feel wounded, and part of the mothering you need right now has to do with, like I said, nurturing, pouring back into yourself, feeling like you deserve to be loved and cared for. And if others aren't doing that for you, doing it for yourself. If others aren't doing that for you, also removing yourself from those situations. If places are feeling stifling to you, removing yourself from those situations as much as you can, allowing yourself, even if you can't remove yourself from the space you're in, allowing yourself to almost leave that space. Like, you know how sometimes people talk about how reading a book, you can be transported to another world, it almost feels like that. Like, if the love that you're finding isn't in front of you, almost transporting yourself in some way to another space so that you can receive that love, or that you can see that love reflected, to recognize that that love exists, right? And with the authority card, there's a energy of you having to stand up for yourself to do it. Like I said, in the fern, there's a heavy energy. And so if you aren't being loved and cared for, if no one's helping you grieve or mourn, then like there are ways in which you have to stand up for yourself and help yourself, yes, and find people to help you. Be proactive about seeking out the help that you need, and the people that will actually show up and be there for you, in actionable, tangible ways, and spaces that make you feel good and joyous, you know what I mean? That fill you instead of taking away from you. So it feels like these are the ways in which you need to be mothered right now. And like I said, okay, y'all, let's get into the next set of cards, which is the best ways to mother yourself. So the cards you have for the best ways to mother yourself: talk shop, accept the gifts of the universe, play, remember to breathe. Okay. So the ways in which you can mother yourself right now, like I talked about before, we need to stand up for ourselves, right? We have that authority card before. And so the ways in which we can stand up for ourselves start with speaking up. Speak up for yourself. Not only speak up for yourself, but let things out. Talk to somebody about the shit that you're going through, okay? There is no prescribed time for grieving or mourning or moving through something. I think that a lot of times we feel like we shouldn't feel what we feel, so we don't really allow ourselves to feel and go through things as we're going through them. And then that just allows them to linger and to come up, later on, and to hinder us later on. So part of what you can do best to mother yourself right now is talk to people who love you and will support you. Find people who love you and will support you. And they don't have to just be in your life. We're in a world where we have parasocial relationships, and we can form relationships through the internet. You know what I mean? And find people that can support us, that, may not be the people literally in the closest proximity to us. Okay, so definitely part of how you mother yourself right now is to speak up for yourself, and speak up in general. Okay, talk about the things that you're going through. Within that, remembering to breathe. All of this feels very throat chakra. So I feel like because we are dealing with moving through trauma, sometimes we are holding our breath, waiting for the next thing to happen, or waiting for the next shoe to drop, or kind of just like in a hyper tense state, right? And so you have to remember to breathe, to let go, to bring good air back in, to release the bad, to just allow the energy to move inside of you. A lot of times when we are in a space of heartbreak or sadness, it's heavy and it sits on us like a blanket. It just covers us. I don't know if anybody watches Big Mouth, but one of my favorite episodes is when they go to the Human Resources building, which is before Human Resources was a show. Anyway, there's this cat, Depression Cat, and Depression Cat just sits on you and makes you want nothing but snacks and sleep. And it's just, you know, it's heavy. And so part of how we get it off of us is to remember to breathe, literally just to remember that you're a person and to breathe. And that refreshes not only the energy in your lungs and the air in your lungs, but the energy around you, right? Remember to breathe. Allow yourself to regulate through the things that are going on and not just hold on tight for perceived negatives or, you know, surprises or things like that, right? Okay, so next ways to mother ourselves. We have play and accept the gifts of the universe. So we had a little bit, not that it was heavy, but it was like we're getting the heavy off of us and these ways of mothering ourselves. And then in these ways of mothering ourselves, we have actionable ways of not thinking about the heavy in a sense, right? So play. Do the things that don't have you think about a goddamn thing. I mean, whatever that looks like: singing, dancing, swimming, running, doing cartwheels, just walking through the damn forest, picking dandelions. If play looks like going places, throwing axes, I was about to say darts. Whatever play looks like for you. Getting on a mechanical bull, okay? Going. Do they even still have? I don't think they have those little rides that they used to have outside of the grocery store anymore. But I was about to say, get on one of those little horses. Like, if there's a fair or a carnival near you or something like that, go. You know, like, do things that allow you to get outside of yourself and the heaviness around you. Do things that have you not sit in it, you know, like we talked about getting up from under it here, and these play is a way that you can literally just shake that shit off, even if it's momentarily, you know. And so be very intentional about bringing play and playful things into your energy. If you were somebody that used to sit and watch cartoons on Saturdays as a kid, start watching cartoons, buy yourself some cereal, sit and watch some cartoons and eat cereal if that makes you happy. Do the things that make you feel unbridled and like liberated, you know. Like, this person has their hands up, out, we're having fun, we're free, we're, you know, we're light. And that's the energy we're bringing in. And again, with the lightness, we have the accept the gifts of the universe, right? So like, even though there is shit going on, there's heavy shit happening all over the world right now, just not just within your life maybe, but outside of you. And part of you may be feeling this if things aren't going on inside of your life because of all the heavy shit that's going on in the world. You know what I mean? And so part of what we also have to do is be able to, like in pile 1, where we had the Be Grateful card, is to be able to see where we are being blessed. Not just the things that we have, but like where there are little blessings that, you know, are coming our way. Within the little blessings, we have to see ourselves as a blessing, and the little blessings that we are as people, and as, you know, as people who are reflecting the things that we were brought here to do and bring, and the ways in which you are light to other people and that you may not even recognize, and the things that you can do and manifest and bring in that you may not recognize as real gifts. So part of the mothering is to sit with yourself and sit with your life and reflect on the things that you can do and the things that are brought to you and the things that have been coming, big or little, and recognize those as actual gifts. You know, sometimes things happen and we're like, oh, but this, or, oh, and then when this happens, yeah, and all we can think about is the bad thing. And we can't even sit with or reflect on the positive of what has come in or what's about to happen or what something that was removed will bring. So accepting the gifts of the universe, playing, breathing, okay, sitting in yourself, being a little bit more grounded, and then speaking up for yourself. These are all ways in which we can best mother ourselves right now. Okay, and then the last card I'm going to pull is from the Healing Stones deck, just to see if there are any crystals that can best help us work with the nurturing that we need right now. Okay, Chalcedony, vivid expression. Chalcedony strengthens your self-expression and communication. Okay? You no longer take what is said personally, and you become more relaxed. This stone gives you a gentle charisma. Okay, so again, we're trying to get ourselves to a place of more lightness than heavy. And part of that has to do with figuring out who we are after the trauma, who we are as we move away from and through the heaviness and sadness, and what we look like on the other side of, what we want, you know, what happiness will look like and feel like on the other side of, because we want to get back to that. Okay, and part of that is getting back to yourself, and part of that is speaking up for yourself. Chalcedony is a blue stone, like I talked about the throat chakra. The throat chakra is represented by the color blue. Okay, and so again, it's like the balance of just standing up for yourself, the balance of releasing and speaking the things that have hurt, that we are moving through and working through them, whether just speaking them to yourself or with other people, like we talked about in the talk shop card. There's a need for us to relax, you know, and if you have Chalcedony, like I said, if you have Chalcedony and you're able to use it, definitely use this so that it can help you sit more in yourself and be more you, and express yourself literally more tangibly through speech, and express yourself more in terms of doing things that make you feel the ways in which you want to feel, recognizing that the heaviness is not what you want to feel, and realizing the feelings that you want to feel and how you can feel more of that. Okay, and like I said in the first pile, if you don't have Chalcedony and you want to try to find the stone, I don't think it's super common, but in terms of just being able to walk into a store and find it, but you can definitely look on Etsy, and you know, Amazon may have it. But yeah, if not, then look into the properties of the stone, look into more deeply into the meaning of the stone, and just research it a little bit more so that you can tune into the energy of the stone if you don't literally have it. Okay? Thank you so much, Pile 2. I hope that all of these messages make sense to you. Please leave a comment, let me know, like, share, follow the channel, and I'm super happy to have read with you. I'll see you next time. Hey, Pile 3, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your first card. So your first card is the ways in which you need to be nurtured most right now. So the first card you have is Medicine Woman. So it definitely feels like there is a need for healing for y'all. The best way to be nurtured right now is to have healing. In terms of the different archetypes of the mothers, this feels like the mother that took care of everybody when she was sick, or excuse me, when they were sick. It feels like the type of nurturing you need is like that, like when you have the mom that, you know, puts the Vicks on your chest and the onions in your socks and is constantly checking on you and feeding you soup and making you remedies to help you get better. You know, like it seems like that may be the type of nurturing that you need right now in terms of the type of mothering you need. You may be dealing with like a physical illness, whether that's mentally or physically, or may be feeling lethargic or just kind of run down, or you may be in a place where you're feeling like you need to change your eating habits or the excess, like how much you're intaking certain things. So it feels like that's why this is the type of nurturing you need right now, and that's why that came in. So let's get your clarifiers for your Medicine Woman card. We have Triumph and Success, Spiritual Union, and Transformation. Okay. So the reasons to me why you got the Medicine Woman card, it looks like there are things that are blocking you in terms of your transformation. Like, you are in a space of having to cut shit out in order to in order to be better, or to be in alignment, it seems like, because you have the spiritual union card here. Like I said, it feels like moderation, or cutting things out, or being mindful about what you're intaking, or how you're taking care of your body in general, and taking care of your body in a more mothering way, like your mom wouldn't let you eat a whole bunch of junk food, or have just general shit that was unhealthy for you. So there's a need for you to be mindful about that in your own life, to be a mother to yourself in the way that you start to cut shit out that is making you feel run down, or that is clouding your mind, or that's putting on excess weight, or that's flaring up something that you already have, like eczema or high blood pressure, or acne or something like that. You know what I mean? And eating better, and working out, and taking care of your body just in general, doing the things you need to do, meditating, drinking water, going for walks, exercising, moving your body, like not just exercise, but like dance, adding play, all these things is what allows you to have the connection that you really need to move to the next level. And that's where they're already pushing you, whether you want to go or not. Like, you're being pushed there, right? Also, the spiritual union card, this would be the Two of Cups in like a traditional tarot deck. And in the traditional tarot, the Two of Cups, it has a caduceus, which is the symbol of a specific god, but the god of medicine. So it has to do with like healing and medicine. And so this is not just figurative health, right? This is like your literal health. Like, there's a type of medicine that you need. And I don't mean, like I said this is not figurative, but in terms of medicine, it may not be literal. But like the medicine that your soul needs, the medicine that your body needs, for you to be in tune with yourself, for you to have the best results in life, kind of thing. It feels like that in terms of the ways in which you most need to be nurtured right now. It's medicine to heal you, to move you, to help you be stronger and more vital and better, because you're being moved into this place of transition, and you want to be your best going into that place. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So the next cards we have to do with the ways in which you best need to mother yourself right now. So how you can best mother yourself right now based on the nurturing that you need. So we have exercise your vibes, which is funny because I just talked about exercise. We have laugh, and then we have back to basics. Okay, so like I just said, exercise. In order to be healthy, part of what we need to do is exercise. Make sure that we are not letting things lock up and atrophy. That's basically when you don't move and things start to get stiff. We gotta make sure that we're utilizing all of our circuits and just firing on all cylinders. And part of that is making sure that we are stretching and doing just basic exercises to keep ourselves in, tip-top fucking shape. Also, if you don't feel good about your body exercising, like for me, part of exercise is not just about my physical body, but it's about my mental. I need to exercise mentally because it helps me to better function throughout my day, right? And so if that is part of it for you, or you may not even realize it's part of it for you, but you may not know that because you haven't tried it, right? And it's not just prescribed exercises in terms of what you think you're supposed to do. There are so many things that count as exercise. So explore that. See what makes you happy within doing that. Laugh, feel light, joyous, okay? But also gives you the discipline and the actual workout that you need, so that it all goes together and we can, work with them in terms of transforming and not just be pushed into this place, right? exercising your vibes also has to do with being your loudest, proudest self. So that's also like an underlying thing there. But I feel like the exercise, the getting healthier, allows you to be your loudest, proudest self. Like I was talking about in the spiritual union card, it allows you to be more aligned with your best self and to put that out there in the universe so that everybody else can see the best version of you as well. You know, like I said, we have the laugh card. So it's about, you know, moving through this space in the lightest, most positive way possible. It's about getting the best out of the movement and the transition. It's about bringing joy into changes, right? And so all of that is part of the medicine. Laughter is medicine. And so remembering the soul medicine of it all, and to bring that also into it, you know, with the physical and tangible material ways of eating healthier and doing more exercise and being more structured and da da da. Don't forget the soul medicine. Don't forget the laughter. Don't forget the joy. Don't forget hugs. Don't forget lightness in those things, okay? The other way in which we can best mother ourselves right now has to do with returning back to basics, right? So like I just said, in terms of structure, adding in the things that we know will keep us in a healthy space, that will allow us to keep habits and put structures in place that help us to, you know, keep this being a consistent thing, that it's not just something we do for a week or 2 weeks and we go super hard on and then that's it, you know, because this is part of the new normal, and part of what we have to do is retrain our brain to recognize that this is what we do every day, or this is what we do every week, or this is part of our new routine, you know, and to implement that in ways that don't then have you burn out, or that have you feel like it's contrived, or like in any way that would make you not want to do it, and kind of thing, right? But also part of the healthiness, like I said, is not just routine, but like simple things like I talked about: water, exercise, fruit, vegetables, sleep, rest, you know what I mean? Just simple things that we can implement that make just that much of a change. 10-minute meditation, 10-minute affirmations, you know, making sure I watch things that are funny and light and don't have me think too much, making sure when I clock out of work, I'm actually clocked out and I turn that off, you know, like just simple little things can help us to implement this new routine and to become healthier people, you know? Okay, so the last card we are going to pull for pile 3 has to do with any crystals that we can use to best help us implement the nurturing and the mothering that we may need. And this is from the Healing Stones deck. So any crystal that can help us integrate the nurturing that we need. Okay, we have Moonstone. I love that. Moonstone. Femininity, devotion. Live your femininity. Moonstone reveals your tender, intuitive, feminine side and allows you to do crazy things at times. So I like that. Also, I want to, for whatever reason, I want to give the bottom card. I didn't do that the other piles, but we have Garnet. Crisis management. Your situation is stuck. Garnet solves the chaos and encourages your soul thereafter. It strengthens your confidence and your own power. So both of these stones bring in and can bring in the energy of comforting and mothering, which are part of what we're talking about, nurturing, mothering, but also like moving through. Like we said, you are in a place of transformation, right? So Garnet helps us with confidence and power and to move through, which can help us to be actionable about the things that we need to do and set the goals that we need to set and things like that. And then Moonstone helps us live in our feminine side. And part of feminine energy in terms of archetypes has to do with being consistent and showing up, right? So we put in the habits and the action with the consistency, the devotion, the showing up, the being mindful and nurturing and encouraging to ourselves. And that is all part of what we can do to help us with the medicine that we're implementing, to help us implement the medicine that we need to implement, I should say, to integrate it with our daily lives, to make it something that is actually tangible and that 3 months from now is just what we do, you know? So moonstone and garnet, both of these stones are very, very easy to find. If you have a local crystal shop, if you go on Etsy, definitely you can find these. Amazon, they're not super expensive. So these are two stones that you can work with if you have them, if you can find them. If you don't have them or can't find them, again, researching and looking more deeply into the properties of the stones, the meanings of each of the crystals, and just integrating that energy into your being can also help. Okay, also just a side note, garnet, if you are somebody that has a lot of fire within you, just be mindful in terms of using garnet. For whatever reason, for me, I am, so I'm a Leo stellium, have a lot of fire energy. Garnets burn me for some reason. If I have it in my hand, it just burns. It's weird. I can't hold it. I don't use them very often. I have one, but I don't use it very often. But just something to be mindful of. Conversation for a later date. But yes, these are the stones that work. I hope that all of these messages make sense in terms of how to best mother yourself, the nurturing you need right now. Please let me know in the comments, like, share, follow the channel for more, and thank you so much for allowing me to read with y'all. I'm so appreciative and grateful that you stopped by today, and I'll see you next time.